I'm Lindsay Dreyer, founder of Happy Agent Co., where we empower women in real estate to build financial independence, lead with authenticity, and create joyful lives and businesses. Each week, I'll bring you bold conversations, actionable strategies, and the inspiration you need to build a business that supports your life, not the other way around. This is the podcast for women like you who want more than success. They want freedom. They want to make an impact. And more importantly, they want to do it all without sacrificing their happiness. Welcome to Happy Agent Co., where success is unapologetically yours. Fun fact that you may not know about me, I did improv comedy in my 20s for like 5 years. Yes, on stage with real people, saying real and sometimes very ridiculous things. And weirdly, it taught me a lot about how to be a better real estate agent. So in my early infancy of being an agent, I was learning how to read a room, listen for the real story, and respond in the moment through improv. And the funny thing is, it turns out that buying a home and standing on stage with no script, they're kind of the same thing. They're scary, exciting, and definitely unpredictable AF. And the really cool thing is that improv gave me tools that I didn't even know that I needed for real estate. So today I am sharing the best ones, the best takeaways from improv comedy classes and also being a performer. And I think that this will be a really fun and hopefully motivating episode to maybe get you to sign up for that next beginner improv comedy class. But at the very least, I hope that you'll be mildly entertained by this episode. My first lesson is that yes and is a life philosophy. So rule number one in improv, and I think everyone knows this at this point, is you always say yes and. You accept what is given to your scene partner and you build on it. So if someone says, I am an alien from outer space, and I'm their scene partner, I go, yes, and I am your leader. You are always adding on to whatever is given to you. You're not arguing, you are not deflecting, and you do not shut it down. You are not saying no. You are building. In real estate, we do this naturally. Client is saying to you, I want a 5-bedroom in this neighborhood for $550,000. And old me would be like, no, it's not possible. Oh my gosh, your budget is not going to work. This is all internal dialogue, of course. And what I learned from improv is that I can then say, yes, and let's talk about some areas that will give you the space you want while staying in your price range. So it is almost like masterfully redirecting, but it's also about validating and then guiding your clients to where they need to go. So it really, yes and is such a great way, not only in real estate, but in life, to meet people where they are and lead them where they need to go. Everyone loves to hear yes. No one likes to hear no. Yes and builds trust faster than yeah, but, or no, not really. And I encourage you to start using it in every buyer consult, every negotiation, or difficult conversation, because I will tell you, it definitely helps improve the positivity and momentum of any conversation. Lesson number 2 from improv comedy is listening is the real power move. Listening is so crucial. In improv, you can't be a good scene partner and you're going to really suck if you are not listening so closely and also to body language. Because in the moment, if you are in your own head trying to plan your next line, you are going to miss the magic of being in the present moment and really responding to what the scene requires of you. In real estate, we do this all the time. We plan scripts. We run through scripts all the time. I mean, how many times have you heard someone say you need to memorize this script? No. Improv comedy is going to let you create your own scripts on the fly by listening, because you are responding to what someone said, not only with their words, but with their body language. we also jump ahead to the close. Like, so we're in our head, we're thinking, okay, how am I going to get them to sign this paperwork? Or how am I going to get them to agree to this price? Or how am I going to get to do, like, you have all these things running through your head, but you're not actually listening. And then you also, if you're not listening, are missing the actual need under what your clients are saying. So again, listening to the words, but also listening to the tone, listening to the implied meaning, listening to their body language, and really paying attention to what is going on holistically is so important in real estate. Listening, again, the best thing you can do because it helps you catch red flags early. You can really pay attention to what's going on. Can also uncover motivation. People, when you let them talk, they absolutely give you a lot of information. You can ask a very good question, open-ended, please. And people give you so much information that is so incredibly useful. And lastly, I think the most important thing about listening is that it builds connection. It helps you build that relationship, that trust. And having that relationship, having the trust, having someone feel like you care about them, that's what listening does. I cannot stand people that just talk at me. I literally cannot. It drives me freaking insane. But someone who asks a thoughtful, open-ended question and then truly listens to my answer, I love people like that. That is my favorite way to have a conversation with someone. I love asking those questions too. I love learning about people. So listening, being curious, asking great questions, that is going to be so helpful to your real estate career. So stop scripting, start listening, because the deal, the information is in what they are not saying out loud, or maybe they aren't saying explicitly, but they are saying it if you were listening intently. Lesson number 3 from improv is that you learn the ability to pivot in the moment. And that is truly everything. Improv trains your brain to adapt, that you don't panic when things go sideways. So you say, okay, cool, what's next? Instead of freezing or freaking out. So I know that like masterful real estate agents are so good at pivoting. They're so good at just coming up with solutions or problem solving on the fly. They're so good at answering objections on the fly. And honestly, that is what being a good improv comedian is all about. Just being so good on your feet, quick on your feet, and like ready to go with the next thing. So I am sure you have dealt with situations like the water heater explodes the day before closing and floods the basement. Luckily, it was the basement and not on the first or second floor. Or you're dealing with a lender who forgot how math works. We're always putting out fires. Like, just that is a constant ability of real estate agents, is being a firefighter. And what I have found is the best real estate agents are not rigid. They are responsive. They stay calm in chaos. They are curious. They are creative. And they are able to be quick on their feet and really pivot when shit hits the fan or something needs to change or we need a change of course. So you do not need the perfect plan, obviously, because the plan usually goes to shit anyway. But you do need to have the confidence to pivot when things change, because they inevitably will. It's like we do not count the chickens before they hatch. It's just, that's how it is in real estate. If you have been in it long enough, you know that. The next lesson, number 4, is you need to have confidence without control freak energy. I love that. Control freak energy. We have all had control freak energy in our life, right? Although I found that my control freak energy has gotten better since I've had kids, because they, again, have made it. So maybe it's point number 3. It's like kids made me have to pivot all the time. So having confidence without control freak energy. In improv, there's no script. You are stepping out. You trust yourself to figure it out. And that's confidence. You're literally jumping into the unknown. And it's the same in real estate. You're never going to know who that client is for the first meeting. You don't know how they're going to react. You actually don't even know what they want. And it's that ability to enter client situations, the market, dealing with other agents, that you need to bring that confidence without being a control freak, without being a type A crazy person. And it's also having that trust that you know you can handle whatever comes your way. And I feel like that definitely comes with experience. I know that after you've done 20, 100 deals, 500 deals, you just jump in there with that big lady energy and you've got it. No matter what's coming your way, you've got it. And getting to that point in your career is so wonderful. But improv comedy also helped me with that, because there's nothing scarier than jumping on a stage and not knowing what you're going to say. Nothing scarier. And so there is just something about being in the moment and just letting it flow, which is really fun and also scary AF. But this is the thing. Our clients aren't even looking for us to be know-it-alls. They are really just looking for us to be the calm, confident leader who's able to guide them through the mess that is a real estate transaction. So I think it's so important that you have that confidence, again, without being super controlling, because confidence isn't necessarily knowing everything or knowing all the answers. It's just knowing that you'll be able to figure it out. And my last point, it's number 5, is that humor heals everything. I love laughing. Laughing is so fun. There is nothing like making people laugh that reminds you that people just want to feel good. Like, they want to be seen. They want to enjoy the experience. I really think that this was one of my differentiators in terms of my clients. I like all of my online reviews were that like Lindsay was just like a blast to hang out with. Not trying to toot my own horn, but just making people laugh. There is literally nothing better in my eyes. I love being funny and I love making people laugh. It makes me so happy. So humor is a huge asset in real estate. It can diffuse tension. It can build connection. It also makes you super memorable. And honestly, it can be a release valve in terms of keeping you sane. It makes it so things may not be stressful. Like, I have a very sarcastic sense of humor. And so I would say things that I probably shouldn't have been able to get away with saying. And people tell me such. But because it makes people laugh and it's a little ridiculous, honestly, people loved it. And it just helps you build the connections with those people. So I'm not saying you have to be a comedian, but it's about being a human being and letting your personality lead the way, because you have a personality and everyone has their own sense of humor, whether it's dry, whether it's sarcastic, whether it's blunt or just like bubbly and cute and funny. Everyone has their own sense of humor. And I'm just here to tell you, don't be afraid to be funny. Don't be afraid to infuse humor in situations, because a happy, laughing client who is entertained is going to be a referring client. And who doesn't want referrals? So there you have it. Those are my lessons on what improv comedy taught me about being a better real estate agent. I did not think that standing on a tiny stage in a black box theater pretending to be a sushi chef with no arms would help me sell real estate. But here we are, people. Improv taught me to lead with empathy, be present, be flexible, and embrace my confidence. It also really taught me how to stay grounded, even when things got really weird. And in real estate, we all know they get really freaking weird. So whether you've been on stage or not, I encourage you to start practicing yes and, listen more, pivot often, and lead with your full, authentic self. Real estate is not a script. It is a stage. And you don't have to know every single line. You just have to show up as your best, fullest, authentic self. I really hope that you had a little bit of fun listening to this episode. If you feel like there's a real estate agent who could use it, please feel free to forward. And until then, I hope that you stay happy. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Happy Agent Co. I hope you're feeling inspired and ready to take action to build a business and a life you absolutely love. If you enjoyed today's episode, it would mean the world to me if you could share it with a fellow agent who might need to hear it. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and if you are feeling generous, leave a review. Until next time, stay happy.